Alright, in your workbook, this is problem 1-30. We're going to complete this 3D model, and we're going to do a full modeling process from making the model to putting it on the drawing. Alright, so have Autodesk Inventor. I'm going to start a new part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start by making the base. I see that is going to be 4.5 by 2, so we'll start off with a rectangle. Okay, we know how to do this already. This should not be new. So I'm going to tab over to the length, 4.5, tab over to the width, type 2, and enter. Click on the top view. Now, something I want to point out, the top view here, you see how it's slanted? Okay. If you click on this little button right here and here, you can spin things around. I'm actually going to head and restart that part because I want my top view to be horizontal like that. I think that'll just make things easier and simpler. Alright, so let's try that again. So 4.5 by 2, enter. Click on that. Okay, I don't need to do anything after this. I can finish the sketch. Click on that home button, and I'm going to extrude that. Alright, here's my dimension. I found it, 0.62. So extrude, 0.62. Alright, now we see we have some fillets and some fillets on the corners. So let's see where we can find okay, so right here it says R.5. So the radius is 0.5. It's only on this surface, so we can assume that all of the others are 0.5. Unless specified, they're not, so that means that they are all 0.5. So I'm going to click on fillet. I'm going to change the radius to 0.5, and on each corner I'm going to click. Now here, check this out. See how Autodesk Inventor knows that there's an edge on the other side here? It turns it white. I can click on that. I don't need to spin the little cube around. I can just, Autodesk will find it. If I wanted to do other surfaces that are hidden or behind something, I can just do that. Alright. Another thing, this isometric, the shape of the bottom is the other way. I like to draw according to how it looks on the drawing. So if I were to click in this corner right here, it'll arrange it just like in the drawing. But if I right click on that corner, I can go to set current view as home, fix distance. So now if my part is all out of whack and I click on home, it'll go back to that. That's a really cool feature that you should definitely take advantage of. My next step is I could either cut out the slot on each side, or I can start building this section here. I'm going to go ahead and build that section first, and then I'll cut out those slots later. So let's see, it's 0.62 wide, and it is... So the radius of this curve is 1. So that means that from this center to the edge is 1. And it's definitely centered with the part, because half of 4.5 is 2.25. So there's my information right there. I just need to make a centered rectangle that is 0.62 by 2 long. So check this out. It's going to right click on that surface, new sketch, and again, see how my top view here is turned the wrong way? I can just click on this and I'll be happy. Okay. I'm going to start off by just putting a point in the center here. So there's my center. Okay, there's my center. I'm going to actually just delete that. I just wanted to show you that you can click on the center. And what I'm going to do is find the center there, and I'm going to draw a rectangle that is 1 by 0.62. Remember, that 0.62 is the width, because I want to show you another feature. If I draw half a part, I can actually mirror it and flip it onto the other side. So I'm going to go ahead, oops, I messed up, let's try that again. Okay, so 1 by 0.62, enter. So check this out. There is this button called mirror. So I click on mirror, and I click on the mirror line, which is going to be the center here, and I'm going to select the surfaces that I'm going to mirror. Oops. Okay. If I accidentally select something I don't want, I just hold down the Shift key and click on it again, and it'll go away. Alright, the mirror line is here, apply, and I have mirrored a drawing. I'm going to click on trim to get rid of that middle part. It won't let me, so that means I need to delete dimensions here and then try and trim again. There we go. So there's my middle section. You could have did it a different way, but this is the way I wanted to show you. I'm going to click on Finish Sketch, click on Extrude, and here I have to do some more mental math or use the software's math. So from this point down to the surface is 0.75. That plus the radius of 1 will give me the whole height here. So that means it's going to be 1 plus 0.75, so that's going to be 1.75. I'm going to click on that surface and it's going to rise up and check. Okay. We can fillet the corners to a radius of 1. So change the radius to 1 and click on the corners and apply. And there is the basic shape of your part. Okay. Let's keep moving on. We have a spot face and a ream. This is a counterbore. We have some information here. It's not what we learned about earlier in class, but we can make some definite educational thoughts about what this stuff means. So obviously 1.25 is bigger than 0.625, so that means that this outside diameter, okay, it's in diameter, is 1.25, and then the hole inside of it, the diameter of that hole is 0.625, and it's a ream. Ream means it's going to go the whole way through, and it's going to get finished with a smooth cut. So I'm going to show you how to do this using the counterbore and point. So I'm going to right click on that surface. Am I recording? Alright, so we're going to use the point tool on this surface, and if you don't see a yellow button, a yellow center pop up, you got to click on Project Geometry and then click on that surface and it should pop up. Alright, so the point, I'm going to click on that center, it should snap right to it. And go ahead and finish sketch. So that point tool is a powerful tool that will allow you to make holes. So when I click on the hole tool, it will automatically put a hole there. Now we need to look at our information here on our drawing to figure out how big and how deep and what else is available information-wise on this drawing. So I know it's a counterbore, so I'm clicking on the counterbore button, and the outside diameter says 1.25. So that's this first option right here. So 1.25. You see how it changes on the model, and it's going down 0.12. So that's the depth. So if you look at this little arrows right here, we can tell. So that's 0.12. And what else do we see? The ream inside, the diameter is 0.625. That's this guy right here, 0.625. Oops. Okay, 0.625. There we go. And that's going the whole way through. There's nothing else I need to do. Let's go through all. And then click OK. So now you've created most of that part. The next step is these slots here. So I'm going to right click on that surface, new sketch, and this time I'm going to do a mirroring of just one of these things. So this is, the center is 1 away, and the diameter is 0.38. So remember, if you have a slot like this, the horizontal, the straight edges are tangent to the circle. That means that that's going to be the same diameter. So 0.38. Okay. So I'm going to find the center. So here's the center. Move over. Click. and that diameter is 0.38. I can then add horizontal lines and make it a horizontal line. Well, it's already a horizontal line if it's not. And tangent that to this. Okay. And you see how it moved up? So I'm going to make sure I horizontally align that center point to the center of the part. Okay. That's why I moved the top view around in the very first instance, so that this would be easier when I get to this step. Okay. Now there is another way to do this, but this way is the way I'm showing you right now. Okay. So I trim that, finish sketch. I would extrude cut that down. Okay. The other way would be new sketch. Let's go like this. If you go into rectangle and click on slot, you can create a slot that is 0.38, just like that. But then you have to dimension that circle. Well, this also needs dimension. So let's go back a few steps. Let's edit that sketch. Right click, edit sketch, dimension. Make sure the center is 0.5 from, oh, no, it already was, yay. Alright, so finish sketch, right click new sketch. Let's make sure that we're doing the right things here. Alright, so click on slot, oh, whoops, right click new sketch, here we go, slots. Find the center. Okay, so you click, and then it lets you make a slot. So that slot's diameter 0.38. The dimension from the center point to this edge should be 0.5. And if we click trim, we can trim the rest of that out. Finish sketch, and you can extrude cut. Uh-oh. Alright, so I'm having an issue. This might happen to you. I'm going to extrude, I'm going to like zoom in right into that, and it's not working. Alright, let's see if I can close that sketch. So edit sketch, and maybe I need to just draw a line between these 2 points to close that off, so that way my extrude will work there. Nope, doesn't like it. Okay. Nope. And I'm tapping escape and E to get this, to do this right. Oh man, why is it not doing it? Nope, it likes the other surfaces. Maybe I need to edit sketch. I know it's closed, so why is it not doing it? Finish sketch. Extrude. There we go. Cut. Okay. Cool. Oh, this one went away. Whoopsies. Okay, so always be aware of what's going on with your part. Sometimes things get undone too many times, like I just did. Alright, so we're going to save that. So click save. This is problem 1-30. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to go new drawing. Okay. So let's remember, right click sheet 1, edit sheet, make it size A, click OK. Right click ANSI large, delete, plus on the drawing resources, ANSI A, right click, insert. Click on base. Okay, if you were to actually look, it says front view. Oh wow, look right there, front view. So this is our front view. If it didn't import like this, use this little cubey thingy to spin it around to exactly where you want it. Okay, so that's why that is there. So let me find my front view. So once that's there and you're happy, click the top, click the right, click the ISO. The ISO, we can move that around later. So you click on OK on that, double click on that, and you can actually spin that around. Click OK. Again, if I double click, I can turn the shading on. My hidden lines are showing up, but sometimes they go away. This button right here will turn hidden lines off. See that? We don't want that. We always want hidden lines on. Alright. Then we right click on the problem name, click on iProperties, go to Summary, and update all of this information. This is problem 1-30. Subject is engineering. The author is your name. The manager is me. Company is Kensington. And apply, close, and save. Okay? Bada bing, bada boom! And I hope you have success with this part.